All right. Yeah. First off, I do apologize if I'm late on this one. Uh, Batman, they are rerunning chords, and I don't have no control of that. But where was I at? We're pretty much looking at, you know, wait, I'm not sure. I'm just doing this conversation. It's not going to be too long. It's not going to be too long. I can promise you that. Probably like 30 minutes. 30 minutes. But when it comes to this one, I wanted to have the genuine uh, discussion on, I was watching a take on Fox News. It was a former NFL player. I guess he wanted to speak out against Colin Kaepernick. And I mean, I got my feels about Colin Kaepernick. That's for me. But I was just very interesting as he was on the news and they put the American flag behind him and then X, Y, and Z, and they do the normal play and putting stuff. And I'm always like, curious about it, but I always like, you know, I'm always curious about that, but I'm always like, well, why do first of all, that's why I asked the question, like, of white America, you know, why do y'all always, why do y'all always have like, puppets or people get on to like, speak to black people? Trinity, you don't have to spam my chat. You don't have to spam my chat. Um, there's no reason for that. There's no reason for that. That's one of those things that I never understood. Like, if you really want to say something, which we know, I guess some people are afraid of how their job is going to get reprimanded or how they're going to be dealt with. But for a while now, um, a lot of black people have been the puppet to speak what you know a lot of white America wants to say. Um, and I owe I owe this chat. You owe it. Well, cash app it then. Um, um, you know what I'm saying? Um, I think that's one of the nuances pretty much going on, especially in a lot of these news sites or ordinances. Uh, they'll get black people to speak on. No, you don't own the chat. You don't. You own your chat. You don't own my chats. Um, I think they get them to speak on what they would like to talk about, but what they can't talk about. Like, I think that's one of the interesting things that I always try to tell people. Be careful of the voice that you're using and who you're amplifying their sentiment for. Um, I'm not going to say something that makes another group feel good on what we're saying or talking about. I refuse to do that. I refuse to do that. I'm not going to speak on something just to make a group feel better. You know what I'm saying? That to me, and that's something that has been done a lot, especially when it comes to black people dealing with other groups, namely white people. That's mainly because a lot of stuff in this country, we are, in a sense, the stepchild product of American society. So when it comes to that, when it comes to that, I will. Um, it's just one of those things that I just kind of wish that we were kind of more aware of that. I mean, some people don't care. As long as they get a check, they don't care. But in the nuances of society, I think is the check honestly worth it? Is that right now where we're is right now where we're at right now leading to? Is the check worth the hassle? Is it worth, the buck broken sentiment of the talking points? Because I mean, you can say you believe, but honestly, is it worth that of your integrity? And honestly, we're seeing that happen to where a lot of men and women, both political side affiliates alike, have been echoing the sentiments of what white people would like to say, but they don't want to come off as aggressive. They don't want to come off as um as oppressive. Which I mean, not saying that they are. Well, I don't want to speak for nobody, but I'm going to speak for what's the undertone of what's being said. And this is why you have to be very mindful of the things that are being said. And what's bad about it is some black people are fine with that. Can you really believe that? Some black people are fine so long as it runs them a check to say, like, I don't see race. Race is weird. Like, you sound stupid. You do. You're going to say you don't see race, but then you're speaking on race. So which one is it? How can you say you don't see race, but you speak on race? How can you speak on, you like to speak on the household demographic, but then you're like, well, why don't you just speak on the household? But see, one thing we know is other households, see, whenever white people talk about each other, on the news, they always say conservative, liberal. Like they make distinctions amongst each other. They make very variable distinctions of categorization of who one is, what they are labeled as, to say this one is not like me. But when it comes to that of having the puppets speak about black people, it's more so the hindsight of pretty much, and yeah, I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone. It's more so the hindsight of Black America. Black America needs to do this. Black America needs to do that. And I would honestly be willing to ask the question like, why? Why be the puppet? Just say, well, why don't y'all say it? I get it, and this is something I'm gonna be honest, man. So like, this is something that you're never gonna get an Asian man to speak on the Asian household for the benefit of god dang another group of people. You're just not. You're just not. Uh, not in this climate of America. You're not going to get the Hispanics, and we haven't seen them yet. I mean, they might get that the Hispanics that work for Border Patrol, but even they be giving sentiments to their people. But we have a problem. We have a problem in Black America, and yeah, don't just say no. There's no such thing as Black America. It's just America. You sound stupid. You sound real dumb when you say that. America is comprised of different melting pots of different groups: carrots, celery, beef, what I'm saying, rice. Those are different components that make the soup. Mm, I taste rice in the soup. I taste celery in the soup. I taste carrot in the soup. Still a soup, but it has different components. So when you're talking about the Black American component, you're using a Black component to address that component. And some people say, well, what's wrong with that? Well, guess what? Why are you speaking for another group? If they got something to say, let them say it. I mean, I'm just being honest. If they have something to say, why don't they just say it? Why are you having to be the voice? See, and that to me is a big flawed problem. You know, when I hear some of y'all dudes, when I hear some of y'all dudes in these spaces quote that of other men in their greatness, and y'all say, well, there's nothing wrong with taking the greatness of other men. Yeah, that's fine. You can listen. But what they have to say to me has zero influence of my experience of how I'm going to live my life, of how I am living my life as a black man. So when y'all come to me telling me something of Jordan Peterson, that's fine. You can sit there and look goofy as fuck, like how some of y'all do, and y'all do. And it's don't worry, black women do it too. Black don't think no like it's just gender. It's black men and black women. Y'all do. Like I'll see black women go to a white man and say we're afraid of black men, and then the black man, and then the white man will say, well, yeah, you know when we're out there in the street, we worry about them too. You know their violence and this and that. And I'll be like, well, look at this, look at these dumb broads. No, don't worry, I'll open up the panel, Jay. But I'm never going to use another group of people. I'm never going to go to another group of people to discuss on that of how my social climate should be doing. I'm just not going to do that. Let me drop a link. I'll drop it out there. You know, I don't mind. As long as it's not the tier for the if it's the tier for the conversation, I'm gonna drop y'all down. We're not gonna talk about the conversation. I'm gonna drop you down. Just letting y'all know. If y'all come up here, I'm only gonna be on for about 45 minutes. But you can have conversation with people, and my thought process is this: if you want to talk about the household structure of my family, then make sure you're willing to put the household structure of your family, your society. You want to talk to me about that? Let's talk about first 48 hours. Let's talk about the homicides y'all do. I'm always perplexed whenever it comes to talking about the fear mongering of what's going on, Aries. I'm always perplexed when they want to talk about the fear mongering of black people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, James. Like you gotta understand, different groups have different societies that they hail from. You're a white man. You wasn't born in a black society. You was born in a white society. You could traverse over, and this is something that a lot of y'all don't understand. And I mean, we can have the conversation, but I know y'all gonna bring up biracial and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. I can bring them up. But biracials even fall into that category. Like when they say Barack Obama, they didn't say Barack Obama, the first mixed white president. No, they made a clear distinction. The first black president. They told it straight in black president. You know, I question a lot of people, and I even had to check. I had to G check myself. I had to literally bash my head on my keyboard because I'm not going to say what other people want to hear just to make them feel good. I don't care for that. That's why I don't. That's why like people say, "Well, BMT, you talk to a racist." You're right. I want racists to be open with me. I'd rather have people who don't fuck with me tell me how it is. See, there's a difference between me and a lot of these men and women around here. They don't want people who don't fuck with them to tell them straight to the face. It's more so easy pretend that you want to tolerate. No, don't pretend. Just say it is for what it is, man. What's up, Kev? Don't pretend like you. And I'm not saying everybody's bad. I'm not saying everybody from every different race is bad. I'm just saying that y'all as black people, y'all need to stop being the benchmark of goddamn. Um, that's why they said Obama is an American. Never read the 14th Amendment. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. That and honestly, when they started saying Obama wasn't American, all of a sudden, when certain people then they sure didn't mind going outside of the White House, taking lynch ropes, beating dolls, and doing all kind of stuff when he became the president, putting on ropes. See, I don't pretend to get along. I just literally say, well, you don't fuck with me, I don't fuck with you. Let's just call it like that. It's not me being racist. I just rather you be open. And not saying that there aren't people from different groups that don't mind talking with you, that there aren't some cool people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, hey, shout out to Maurice Duck. That's my homie. That's a really good homie. Shout out to his wife Kelly. I'm never gonna say shout out to Carolyn. There's some pretty good, cool white people. Lawrence, Stryker. But I don't want to, but I also understand, right? When it comes, they like to pull up BLM, Black Lives Matter. And first off, BLM, proportion, oh, I get it, it's at Black Lives. So automatically it's given some type of connotation. But that group, first of all, um, I don't even know what the hell y'all want to call that group. But to me, it's a boogeyman. It's a boogeyman, boogaloo type of group. Like I don't know. I see it all on video games, on TV and stuff. I'm sitting there like, what? Like, what was that? Like, then you'll have some crazy Sean King dude jump up there and start talking and shit. Or I'm not asking for people to represent me. I can represent myself. And I see it a lot when they'll put I don't want to say older, they'll put a black person up saying that, well, so what do you think of the black community and this and that? And I was like, well, why don't you just say what you think, white woman? Just say what you think of the black community. Because I get that y'all want the black Negro, you want that fool on the stage. You want him to say what y'all feel. You want them to say what y'all feel on panels. You want them to say what y'all feel around y'all in their certain circles or their corners. Because guess what? It makes you feel good. I was on this one panel, and they had certain feels about Breonna Taylor. Now, had I said that was differently of them running up into a different woman, mind you, I think that happened in New York where they had the police used bounty hunters to go into a woman's home with her man, and they had guns pointed at them. They made the man lay outside naked. Oh, how America was so angry. That violated his rights and his amendment. And you see, you got these people, these broken bucks online. And that's why I look at y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all what I feel. A lot of y'all are broken bucks. You're so weak and so minuscule of the society. Listen, man, I don't like ignorance and I don't like degeneracy. But I'm never going to get online to doggone always got a problem with itself. Every country got a problem with itself. Every country has a problem with itself, James. Every country has a problem with itself, and every country. China right now is trying to tell its own people that they need to have kids, but guess what? They don't want to have kids. Europe has a problem right now where doggone the police have been beating up and enforcing things on the European population, as well as letting foreigners come in and do all kinds of stuff from beat, acid attacks, rape. So when you bring up America, make sure you bring up the other countries too. I'm just saying, just letting you know, buddy. See how that work? If you bring up one side, bring up all, bring up all sides of the factor. If somebody brings up the demographic of the black home, then I'm saying, well, then tell me about that boy that went to the school and shot it up, and his parents tried to help him get away with shooting up that school. Since you want to talk about my household integrity, talk about that. But see, when you get these puppets, these fist puppets, they jump on and they start speaking. Listen to the connotation of discernment that they use. Listen to the questions that is asked of them on the prompters. And I get it. If you're doing it for the check, just say you're doing it for the check. If you're doing it to try to sell to make people feel good or get them on board, and believe me, it's not just conservatives. You also have it on the Democratic side. What's up, Sir Obadiah? Black black people, y'all need to stop being the mouthpiece for other people that what they want to say about you. Let them say it. Let them say it. At least it sounds more genuine. You see, when I looked at how they set it up for that American flag to be draped behind that black man, when I looked at it, how they had that, they always get Candace Owens to come out there and say, Black America, liberals, this and that. But she don't ever say white America. She don't ever say, well, white America. Y'all have a problem with that. You know why? But she know damn well they're never gonna allow her to say that shit. Tucker Carlson ain't gonna allow her to say that stuff. I'm going like, who are you, black bitch? Who do you think you are to think you're gonna say something? BMT, a raccoon don't know how not to be a raccoon. That is so true. A raccoon don't know how not to be a raccoon. I was looking at it on social media, and this is the thing about it is they will allow you to say what you got to say about your group because see, so long as you ain't talking about their group, they don't have a problem with you. They don't have a problem with you, and this is the problem where a lot of these people look weak. This is why a lot of people in our ranks look weak. We're so used to being the person to crack the whip of nuances on our own people, rather than you could have just took that same damn whip and turn around and crack that same motherfucker that didn't want to beat your own, that didn't have the balls to beat your own people. You didn't have the ball. You didn't just hit them. You could have just took that doggone whip or that paddle and break it off on them. And I know everybody want to make all these subtle excuses, but tell me, well, you're doing this or I'm doing this and that I'm doing. Listen, bro, then call out your people. Get on your people. Don't say I'm in the community. Just say you're visiting a community. It's always interesting when people say I'm in the Asian community. Like I heard this one black anime guy. He said he was in the Asian community. I said, go to a Japanese bar and tell them that you're in the Asian community. They'll kick your ass like the fuck right out. You're not in a community. You're just visiting. They're allowing you participation. They're allowing you participation. You're not in. that community. When they want you out, they will put you out. When they get tired of you or think that who the hell are you, they will disembowel all kind of doggone affiliations with you. Problem is, a lot of y'all don't know how to do that. I understand when I go around certain communities, I'm a guest just looking in. You think I, as a black man, have some say on Native American or Pacific Islander talking points? They're like, who are you? My father's father has been on these oceans fishing and hunting. Well, who are you, black man, to think you're going to tell me? Deal with your own community. Anime is cool. And see, that be a problem that we don't like to holistically be honest with. You think you as a black man are going to tell white men how to be better fathers, how to train them, how they need to be with their women in the household? They're going to say, well, what about the black household? And I've seen that happen. They'll bring up, what about the black household? Huh? What's going on with that? What's going on with that in your woman? Then it gets quiet. They'll throw at you. See, understand, baby mama and welfare baby, that's a moniker that was put onto you during the Ronald Reagan era. But you're not the biggest welfare recipients. Nobody jumps on and says, hey, the Jews are using the welfare system. You think you have the power to get on and talk about one of them? You can't. They won't allow you to. Let's say that's hate speech. It's not. It's just some weak minded thing. Honestly, I don't even care what they do with this channel. Honestly, because YouTube sucks. They do. You never can you're never gonna have that spot to think you can check another race. But they don't mind using it as the mouthpiece. And that's the thing about it. A lot of men and women in our community have no problem being used as the mouthpiece or as the puppet to say whatever that they other group wants to say, but they can't say because they'll feel like they'll come off as racist, they'll come off as haters, that they'll come off as biters of a style or something like that, and so they'll use that. I talked with a Jew today, had a beer with an Indian, Jordanian, El Salvadorian, French American. I mean, it was a good night out. Okay, so you talked with all of them. Now ask them if you ever go back to that bar. Ask them same people. Does anybody of the outsider group have the right to dictate? Because understand, let me show you the perfect example. Afghanistan didn't mind you Americans giving up resources, but they're never going to have it where an American runs Afghanistan. They would rather see a Taliban member run Afghanistan before they see an American run Afghanistan. Just think how powerful that is. A superpower country could fix their problems overnight. Overnight. But at the strength alone of they would rather die before having an outsider force check them and tell them how they should be. And that's nothing wrong. That to me is one of the most admirable things I can come to respect. That literally you would rather taste that of a kiss of death before having somebody else tell you and your proponent of your tribe how they should live. So you're not truly, literally, then that's them living through you. I'm just being honest, man. No one does it, none of my business. But we can make jokes about our cultures, even racist jokes, because we get it. We joking. No, I'm gonna tell you right now, you cannot make a racist joke. Only time you can make a certain type of joke when you're in a position of power that you feel that there's really no consequential repercussion for what you say or do. Go ahead and make a joke about certain groups. There's repercussion. And I know some people say, well, Dave Chappelle's an anomaly. He's a paradoxical anomaly. But let's be honest. Like, let's look at Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is a black man that dresses up to speak about the woes of the broken family and women, while knowingly dressing up as a woman and literally uh, showing the showcases of the menstrual broken family. Well, I mean, that's amongst you. I mean, that's amongst you. But I'm gonna tell you right, that's what your Jew girlfriend. That's not you ain't going. You're not gonna go to a bunch of men of her diatribe and think you're gonna start talking crap or talking like. Let me tell y'all some jokes about y'all. Those men that are ironclad into that service are not gonna allow you to do that. You're doing it with that woman. That's just like Gary, Gary, that white boy comedian. He was telling Charlemagne, I can't say the N word, but I'm gonna use my black wife, my black ex-wife, because that's ex-wife now. I'm going to use her to say it. He said, and she was sitting right there looking all stupid and goofy, saying nigga, nigga. And part of me, I wanted to smack the shit out of her. Because I was like, you dumb bitch. You are knowingly calling another black person nigga for I don't give a shit if that's your husband or not. And some people say, well, that's her husband. No, no. There's certain lines you don't cross. There's certain things you just don't do. I don't give a shit. And see, that's the problem I do have with some people in the divestment area sometimes. Y'all black people don't know how to fight. Y'all don't have no filter or level how far to take it. Y'all, I don't got no problem. Love who you love. But don't be doing the dirty work. And running back, you got back was you know, that's no different than a lot of these black dudes who, when they get into a situation outside, then they say, "Oh man, black people unite, form of dashiki." No, nigga, you already out. Now you need to deal with your situation. It's like and we see this time and time again. Like you need to own up on your buffoonery of the shit that you did. After you sort your shit out. And that's how I did. When y'all get into y'all fuck shit, I'm like, okay, cool. So let them figure that shit out. Let them crawl back. Then, okay, you done took your ass whooping in life from that talk point. Now come on through. Hmm. But I think I did 35 minutes. So I'm BMT. Thank y'all guys for coming through. Y'all have a good time. Peace.